Hey, just making another one of my little videos. A bit shocked at this place here. Look at the size of this big wheel. This was built in 1893. There's the big wheel. Now, this was the world's of the World Trade Fair held in Chicago in 1893 to celebrate the 400th year of Christopher Columbus' arrival to the New World in 1492. The centerpiece of the fair was the large water pool to depict the journey that Christopher Columbus took. It was called the White City because of the materials used. The fact it was white. It covered nearly 3 kilometers, featuring 200 buildings that they built temporarily, so they say. Neoclassical culture, canals. The Chicago World Fair is often called the fair that changed America. It spanned 600 acres and included fairgoers to wanderers of electricity, such as elevators, the first electric car, products we now take for granted like the zipper. Reading it as American, but zips to the UKers. Cream of wheat and Cracker Jacks, and presented viewers with a look at Edison's kindoscope and a listen to the first voice recordings. The Midway was also home to some less seemingly exhibits. For example, people of faraway nations put up displays like animals, Eskimos, Zulus, opium smokers from China. The fair's lasting vestiges are beautiful specimens, and if the Court of Honour was a ring, the Statue of the Republic was its jewel. In the Victorian era, they erected over 200 buildings. I mean, just have a look at some of these buildings and what it was. I mean, this place was absolutely amazing. I find it quite amazing. In the time it was open, over 700,000 people came, and it made a profit of equivalent to about 14 million pounds, dollars, whichever one, I suppose dollars, isn't it, of today. It had the biggest stove, was a 15-ton wooden model of it. All of this got destroyed by fires after this storm moved over the area. It basically said that the paint was still drying as the people came in. Personally, I don't think they would have been able to have built all this. They basically built a town. Well, that's what they're saying, is they built it for this exhibition. But some say that it was already there. It was huge, 2.8 kilometres. And so basically after these storms and fires went through it, only a few buildings were left at the end of it, and they're still standing today. The Museum of Science survived. A bridge survived. And what it kind of says here is, after all, it was at the White City where Nikola Tesla's game-changing alternating current, which was chosen over Thomas Edison's direct current to power. That's what he won. Tesla won. Literally gave light to the fair at the same time. The lighted streets were all still quite novel. What they were saying was that this kind of electricity was still novel and untested. That's what they're saying. I mean, just have a look at the size of this thing. We're talking 1893. Look at this. I mean, you could almost live in that. It's just got chairs in there. That person there doesn't look that old, do they? Wish I could blow that up. Looks like they've got sunglasses on. Don't know if you can see that, but anyway, looks modern, that person there. Anyway, maybe it's just they're looking through eyepieces. I mean, yeah, look at these people in this. Look at the size of it. They dismantled this and moved it to North Chicago for the 1905 World Trade Center. Oh my goodness gracious me. Look at it. The theory being, they're saying all this got built in a year or two for this exhibition. But that's not really what happened. They moved into this. This was already there. Most of this was already there. And they built a bit. That's what other people are saying. I mean, when you see the size of it, and there you go, look, the White City. Look at it. Oh, is that the fire that destroyed it? The place was amazing. Who would temporarily build all this? I mean, look at it. Just looks like empire to me. I remember when Martin Leakey was talking about this stuff and saying that some of the buildings were they just replicas and were they just sort of wooden and thrown up. I mean, so that they were temporary. But really? This place was magnificent. I mean, putting all this together, even just the big wheel. So you put all that up to be temporary, and then a storm destroys all that. Amazing. Looks like an empire built buildings to me. Inside the buildings, I mean, just look at it. Always links back to these, doesn't it? Which are very, well, what we call Roman. Or before. Greek. Oh my goodness gracious me, look at that. 1893, 250 foot diameter, 2,160 person capacity in those things. That wasn't something small. We can't even build things like that today. That ride, you could have 2,000 people on it. I mean, how many people were they expecting? How many people were here? I mean, wow. 1995, 140 feet diameter, 240 people capacity, Navy Pier, Chicago. Look at it! Wow. Poster for it. Expecting a lot of people then if it could carry over 2,000 people their ride. This was a very well put up place. These weren't little buildings. United States government building and Japanese Hoden. Two griffins. I mean, look at this. Look at the size of the buildings. What does everybody think? Do they think it was destroyed on purpose? Or do you think it was accidentally destroyed by storms and fires? I mean, we'd have trouble building all this today. I mean, it would take years. You've got Norway, Siam, Brazil, all the women's horticulture, fisheries. Just incredible. Wow. Those were medals on display. On July the 10th, 1893, cold storage fire at the 1893 Colombian World Trade. It's called two things, but it was the World Trade Center exhibition. It says official bird's eye view. It's called Colombian, but this was Chicago, 1893 World Trade Exhibition. Amazing, hey? I mean, look at this building here. Supposed to have built this. I mean, look at that one. Even this one. Look at them. They're supposed to have built all this in a year. Or a short period of time, let's put it that way. And it was supposed to be all temporary. I mean, this is the electricity building. Its base was 700 by 345 feet. Floor area 9 and 2/3 of an acre. Cost 410,000 to build. I mean, just look at it. So, what do you reckon then? Do you reckon it was accidentally burnt down by this fire? Do you think that it was meant on purpose because they always said it was going to be temporary structures? That's what they were telling people. Or do you think that they moved into all this and only built a few more buildings? I mean, it's just incredible. Do you think Tesla did it? Don't remember if you remember Tesla when he realised what he got. He nearly destroyed the building he was in, and he sort of tried to destroy it. So do you think it was anything to do with Tesla? Such an amazing place, gone. Wouldn't that be amazing to see today? Anyway, everybody, what do you think? Oh look, there's it being built. Let's have a quick look at that one. All put together. Chicago World Fair. Look at that. Notice all the buildings there, but no pictures of it being built. But at least you can see that this is being erected. I mean, that was massive. He managed to do that in 1893. On that. I mean, none of it adds up, does it? None of it. Yeah. Anyway, what do you think then?